Hi Pile 1, welcome to your reading today. So for most of you watching, you're in either no contact or low contact situations. For most of you watching, your person might have cut off the relationship or the connection, or maybe they've been breadcrumbing you, or it's been really slow and you haven't been getting a lot from them. So today we're looking at WTF are they thinking or were they thinking? And what would they like to say to you right now? So basically, like, what was going through their mind when they either cut off contact with you or cut off this connection, or they're going through this kind of breadcrumbing, zombieing, starving, situation. So you guys have picked a few things. You've picked this beautiful starfish necklace. You also have picked the before tarot, which is good because we want to know maybe in your particular connection what's happened earlier, what's happened before this situation has happened, because we're wondering like the past, like what were they thinking before. And I have picked also this beautiful aqua aura crystal for you, which is very pretty. The intro was shot when I was in the Caribbean a few months back in the fall last year. I wanted to save it till we were in Pisces season, but I didn't have a chance to upload them all because I wasn't feeling good. So I'm releasing them now as we're moving into, Aries Taurus energy, kind of very like earthy energy. It's very fun. And at the end of this video, stay tuned if you want for beautiful footage of the Caribbean and St. Lucia with the beautiful ocean and all the foliage. It's such a lush island. It's so pretty. So if you wanted to do some sort of meditation, or you wanted soothing or to heal your heart in some way, then just skip to the end of the video. There's about 3.5 minutes of just like very peaceful Caribbean scenery for you. So let us jump right in and see a little bit about what was going through their head when they cut off contact, or when they were, reducing this situation. So first, what I'm going to do is I will actually do my traditional relationship spread, because I do want to see like what was going on with you, or maybe was there something going on with you that influenced it. I know a lot of times when relationships come to an end or things reduce down, we can blame ourselves, or we can worry about like, did we do something wrong? Like, what happened? Was it me? That kind of thing. So we're going to have 3 cards for like, what were you doing, or what was going on with you when they decided they needed to really pull back, or they really needed to reduce contact or top things off. And then for them, what were they thinking? What was going through their mind in regards to the situation with you? We have 3 cards for the past. What were they thinking? More details. Cards for the future. I'm going to use a different deck. I'm going to use the Mermaid Tarot, actually, because I want all this to be the past. So let's see. So what were they thinking with this? So we're going to do 3 cards for maybe what they might be thinking within these next 3 months. So like, what might go through their mind now that you guys are in separation, or now that they have cut things off. And then we have a card for a longer term, or a final outcome, or an outcome down the road. Like, what would they be thinking later? So I'm going to do reversals as well, which I said. So I'm going to look at this. So it seems like in the past, what you were thinking or what you were doing was you were so eager to move forward with your person. I get the 8 of Wands. So you were feeling like this relationship was just about to progress. It was just about to move forward. Maybe you felt like you were about to see each other in person, and you were really looking forward to that. I feel like you were really anticipating that, and you were really thinking like, gosh, okay, you know what? I know I've been hanging in there. We're going to see each other in person. I feel like this is going to progress. So I get the 8 of Wands right before the travel, or right before seeing each other in person, or right before the communication. You were gearing up to have an important talk. So you probably either knew it was coming, or maybe you didn't think it was going to be this way, but you knew that you were going to have a talk with them, or you knew you needed to have an important conversation with them. Also, you may be a Sagittarius energy with the Eight of Wands, or you may have that strong in your chart somewhere. I feel like there was like an eager, impulsive excitement to go forward with this. And I feel like the Wheel of Fortune is upright too. So you felt like your luck was just about to turn around. Maybe you had been waiting for a while for your person and you were like, okay, it's just about to change. It's just about to move forward. I feel like it's just about to progress. You know, luck is about to be on our side. You know, we've been going through a tough time, but the tough time is almost over. And then I get the King of Swords in reverse. So you saw your person, maybe an air sign, maybe a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, in a divine masculine energy, and you saw them as somebody that maybe wasn't showing up a lot. Maybe their communication was withdrawn. Maybe they had already started reducing talking to you, because the King of Swords is like either they were absent and they weren't really there, or they might have already started pulling back or ghosting you or withdrawing, or you might have felt with the King of Swords that, you know, they just weren't talking as much. You felt like maybe they weren't really sharing with you or showing you what was going on, and you felt like maybe they were being very private, maybe they were very unavailable, maybe they were very distant. For your person, what was going through their head? Yeah, so they felt like the two of you were in a strong connection or had a very, very strong bond. I get the High Priestess in reverse and the King of Cups in reverse. So they saw the two of you as bonded, as emotionally connected, as very united, maybe even in a commitment of some kind. It seems like they saw you as connected and together, but look at how in reverse they are. So the King of Cups is like they were on their side, feeling drained, feeling emotionally depleted, feeling maybe emotionally done, or feeling emotionally just like burned out. And then you, the High Priestess, where they saw you as this like spiritual, mystical, beautiful being. And they still felt like in some way there was a togetherness between the two of you. There was still a united energy. But it seems like that maybe also they felt like maybe your psychic intuition was wrong. Or maybe like if you were telling them like, I feel intuitively this, I feel this, they were feeling like, yeah, no, that doesn't line up for me. I really don't believe in that. I don't think that that's really right for me. And so it's like they felt like either you were inaccurate or wrong, or like your intuition wasn't like on the same page with them, or maybe they felt like, you know, you were also being private and quiet and reserved and secluded and not really showing up either. It seems like your person felt like both of you were withdrawn and maybe losing interest, or maybe you weren't showing them that you were still interested, or they weren't perceiving that you were still interested. So there is this. They felt like maybe both of you were drained or done or emotionally depleted in some way. And then I get the Five of Coins in reverse. Your person, it seems like they didn't really want to abandon you. They didn't really want to reject you or feel like rejected themselves or out in the cold. Your person just seems like they were just feeling like both of you, or they thought that both you and they were just done or reclusive or withdrawn or pulled back or not interested in anymore. Like, I feel like they were interested, but I feel like they were just so tired. They were just so drained. And with this Five of Coins, they didn't really want to be abandoned or abandon you. They didn't want to reject you or feel rejected. But it seems like that they were feeling like maybe both of you were needed to take a step back. Maybe both of you felt depleted. Now, in the past, more of what they were thinking in regards to this connection. I get the Eight of Coins in reverse, the Seven of Swords in reverse, and the Four of Coins in reverse. So it seems like there was a period of time where even though they were thinking, I don't have enough time for this connection. I don't have enough to invest. I don't have enough to give to this connection. That the Eight of Coins in reverse is, you know, feeling that way. Oh, in the currently they also with the King of Cups and the High Priestess, there's also Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer energy showing up. Okay, so with this, yeah, and it's interesting with the King of Cups because the King of Cups is like the spouse, the husband type and seeing the two of you as spouses together, or seeing you as really united together, but then feeling like, but emotionally they just didn't have it in them anymore. So almost like exhausted emotionally. Yeah, so then with the 8 of Coins in reverse, feeling like they were like, I just don't have any time or attention to dedicate to this. I don't have any, resources to put into this. I just don't have any more to give into this. I can't be consistent. I can't keep building this connection. Like even in this card with the Before Tarot, it's like when you see this, it's feeling like, see, look at all this like unfinished business. Look at all this unfinished thing. It's like they're only half building it up. There's only 5 pentacles here. There are still 3 that are like unfinished or that are undone. So I feel like they felt like this still had a lot of potential to it, but that they just don't have any more to give. And then I get the 7 of Swords in reverse. And it's interesting because they were feeling like they didn't want to hurt you, number 1. The 7 of Swords is usually about a betrayal. So they didn't want to betray you. And this is the moment before the betrayal happens. So they're like, before I betray pile 1, before I hurt them, before I really cross the line, I need to move back. So sometimes this happens if people are in third-party situations and they feel like, you know what, before I cheat on my partner or before I cheat on my person, I gotta break up with them so I can move forward with somebody else. In this particular case, and again, this could apply to you guys, or another scenario is you may be a third party and they're like, before I cheat on my person, the person I'm with, I want to make sure that I don't cross the line with pile 1 because I don't want to, I want to have integrity. I don't want to hurt anybody. So it seems like that might be something that was going through their head. If you're not in a third party, the 7 of Swords reversed would be that maybe they didn't want to betray you. Maybe they didn't want to do something that would hurt you. And I feel like they're like, I really don't have any time or investment to put into this. I don't have any resources to put into this, but I really don't want to hurt pile 1. I feel like this is hurting pile 1 and I don't want to hurt them. I don't want to be unreliable. I don't want to not show up for them. And I don't want to just like slink away and ghost them without any communication. So that's more of what they were thinking. And then I get the 4 of Coins in reverse. So I feel like they may have told you this because the 4 of Coins is like somebody that has opened up, somebody that is, receiving something valuable. And it's interesting because in this Before Tarot, and I'm going to show you this upright so you can see it. Normally the 4 of Coins is like one person holding all 4 coins. In this, one person has 1. And then the other 3 people have their own coin. They haven't given it to that person yet. So I feel like your person may have felt like, you know what? Again, this is about not being able to give resources because it's in reverse. Feeling like the potential is that they could invest all of their self into this connection. They could give you all their coins and that you could hold on to all their love and all of their, commitment. But it seems like with it in reverse that they were like, maybe I can only give you 1 part out of me, like 1/4 of me. So it seems like maybe they were giving 3 things to other people or to like other parts of their life, like their job gets 1, and then their family gets 1, and then like themselves maybe gets 1, and then like you get 1. So they're like, I could only give like 1/4 to pile 1. And it seems like they just felt like they couldn't give the other 3/4 of themselves. Now, what will they be thinking most likely within the next 3 months in regards to you? So what would they be thinking then? Well, these are all in reverse also. Interesting. So look how you mirror each other. So now again, this is the before and this is the mermaid. So it's a different timeline and this is in the future. But look at this. So we have the 8 of Wands in reverse. Look at what shows up literally again. And this is like a totally different deck. So it's interesting that this shows up. The 8 of Wands in reverse shows up twice. So where you were thinking, gosh, you know what? You wanted to move forward with your person. This is an upright. Actually, this is upright for you. So it seems like, yeah. So in the future, they're thinking, I don't want to have a conversation with pile 1. Okay, they might not be ready to talk, within the next 3 months, they might think, you know, I don't feel like talking to pile 1, or I don't emotionally feel ready, or I'm not available to talk to pile 1, because you wanted to travel, you wanted to see them, you wanted to do it right away, and you thought it was just about to happen. But your person in the next 3 months, what they're going to be thinking is, it seems like they're like, you know what, I still can't talk to pile 1. Maybe they feel like you won't hear them, or you won't understand them, or maybe they feel like they're going to be misunderstood or judged. Maybe they're afraid to talk to you, or maybe they're like, they don't have enough time to talk to you, or maybe they're just avoiding having any emotional conversation. So it seems like, and whatever reason, and also it seems like for them, traveling or meeting you in person is probably off the table within the next few months. Then I get the King of Swords in reverse. Oh my gosh, you guys, that's the same. No, this is weird. Okay. I mean, I love it, but I mean, I don't love the outcome, obviously, but I love the magic of it. Okay. So, wow. Okay, look at this. King of Swords in reverse. You felt like they weren't talking, that they weren't really showing up, that maybe they had been walking away or ghosting you or whatever, that your person is still thinking King of Swords twice in reverse. That's crazy, with a different deck. Okay. So, all right. It seems like, yeah. So, what your perception of them in the past, right before they were cutting things off, it seems like they also share that mentality you're mirroring, where they're like, yeah, I really shouldn't talk to pile 1. Maybe you're forbidden. Maybe they, again, feel like they'll be judged. Maybe they, again, this is about like still not communicating. 8 of Wands in reverse and King of Swords in reverse is about not communicating mentally, feeling drained or exhausted, feeling like they just don't want to take it on, feeling like they just don't have it in them. With this King of Swords and the 8 of Wands in reverse, both of them, it's like not really communicating or not having it in them, or that kind of thing. And also, to be honest, I'm getting the Magician in reverse. It feels like they may not even be manifesting or hoping or wanting or wishing this, because they're thinking in their head, they're like, I don't want this, I don't wish this, I don't, you know, it's like they're just not really thinking or wanting or hoping. And I'm so sorry, by the way. I mean, I'm channeling this in like a objective way, but I also like, I want to pause and just say sorry. This sucks. This hurts. I'm so sorry. So there is that. So yeah, so it seems like within the next 3 months, and again, this is just how it is now, it could change, and it just seems like within the next 3 months, like their head's just not there, or they're just not thinking that, or they're just not wanting that, or maybe they're feeling like they're restricted. And again, we're going to get more details, but maybe I might feel like, oh, I can't, or I shouldn't, or I won't, or, you know, like there's some sort of thing going on. Maybe there's just some misperception or some belief that they're like, oh, I can't. If I do, then this bad thing will happen, and I don't want this bad thing to happen, like that kind of thing. But oh my gosh, okay, I love this. I'm glad. I hope you're still watching. So I get the Star. This is fantastic. Okay, so within the next 3 months, they're still in their same mentality, but down the road, I feel like what they're going to be thinking in their head is they have hope for this connection. They have, you know, future plans, and they're thinking about this, and they want to get it off the ground. So it's a timing issue. So I feel bad for you guys if you guys have waited for a while, and if you guys have felt like, and you've hoped that this could happen or could come through for you, because it does seem like right now at this time that it's not. But I want to say it's not a forever thing. So of course I wouldn't recommend like waiting around. It could take a while. I mean, we don't even know beyond 3 months time. We can look at it, but you know, how long will it take? And obviously this is a general reading, so this is for many people involved. And for some of you involved, it could be like a very long time ago that they cut things off. So it may be that situation, but I do feel that there is hope here with the Star. And I wouldn't say that if I didn't see that there was this situation. You know, I would just try to gently be like, well, maybe if they're not coming back, you could look at other people, or maybe you would heal yourself, or, you know, but I do feel like with the Star that there is this like potential here. But I want to see like, what were they thinking when they were cutting things off? So I do want to look at a lot of different message decks right now, because I want to get some more information for you. Okay, cool. All right, so what WTF were they thinking when they cut off contact or reduced their situation or walked away from sweet, sweet pile 1? Yeah, well, okay. I am not available. So they just were they were just very aware. They're like, look, I am so unavailable. I am just not available to show up for pile 1. And maybe that's why they're having these thoughts in the next 3 months. Like, I shouldn't talk to them. I shouldn't, get their hopes up. I shouldn't be half in if I really can't show up. But wow. Okay, number 1, they do regret lying to you. So when it says that they were trying not to hurt you with the 7 of Swords in reverse, it was like they felt like they didn't want to hurt you. They didn't want to lie to you. They didn't want to do that. But maybe they did anyway. So for some of you out there, maybe they didn't want to betray you, but then they did. Or they didn't want to hurt you and be unreliable and slink off, but maybe they did. And in this particular case, they regret lying to some of you out there. Some of your person may have lied to you, but maybe you caught them in it. So I would say if you didn't catch them in it, they didn't lie. That's for other people. So for some of you out there, they lied and they regret lying to you. Maybe lying was just giving false hope. Maybe lying was leading you on. Maybe lying was just not really opening up, not really communicating their truth, that sort of thing. But I get we will be together again. So it seems like back then they were like, maybe I need to step away for now. Maybe in the future we can be together, but not now. So they're like, I'm not available. They were like, I'm not available, but maybe in the future I will be more available. And when I'm more available, then I will reach out. But maybe within the next 3 months, they're still not, available, or they're still not being able to reach out. I want to get more messages. So what else was going through their head when they were cutting things off with you? Yes, okay, you guys, this is important to know. So their shadow side messages. Whoa, okay. All right, I'm trying to bury my love for you. So just so you guys know, it seems like it's not a lack of love or a lack of feelings. What was going through their mind, and again, their mind is not their heart, it's not their emotions, but what was going through their mind. And again, I'm getting King of Swords twice. So, and King of Cups in reverse and King of Swords in reverse. So it's like maybe they were mentally being strict with themselves or too harsh. They weren't emotionally in their heart. The King of Cups was reversed. Like they were making a decision probably based on their logic, based on what they felt like they had to do or that they must do. They weren't making it with their heart, because the King of Cups is in reverse. And with the King of Swords in reverse too, it's almost like they were feeling like they couldn't even really make a logical choice. They just had to feel like they had to make this choice based on like exhaustion. Like, when your mind can't even race anymore and you just feel like I just have to go to sleep, maybe out of depression, but it says, yeah, that they were trying to bury their love for you. So they were trying to bury their feelings. That's what was going through their head right before they cut it off. And then being apart has changed my life. So they were also thinking like being without you or being apart from you or being unavailable to you has changed their life. Like it's impacted them so much. Maybe it really did like drain them or deplete them or just depress them, because it seems like, yeah, that they were being apart from you was really, really difficult on them. And then also, and more shadows. When they cut things off for you, they were 1,000% in their shadow self. They were not in their like higher self or anything. It's too scary to admit that I'm in love with you. And that's why they felt like they had to bury it. So it seems like admitting that they were in love with you was going to freak them out. And that's where they had to detach from that. I contradict myself and give you mixed messages. So they knew that they were giving you mixed messages. They knew they were leading you on without being able to show up for you. They knew that maybe they were giving you promises that they couldn't act on, they couldn't deliver on. So it seems like they knew that their behavior, their hot and cold energy, seems like they had, was really tough on you. And they knew that they were hurting you. And I feel like they just wanted to set you free and just like not like drag you through this pain. So I feel like they just didn't want to hurt you. All right. I want to clear some of this away. And I want to look at some more messages in regards to like, what were they thinking when they cut things off? Okay. Let's go to messages of love. What were they thinking when they cut things off with you? Obsession, play hard. Okay, so it seems like they were very aware they were obsessed with you. And I feel like that they were very, like, when their obsessions or their addictions get the best of them and they were just burned out from them, like a hangover. I feel like they felt like they were like romantically hungover because they were that King of Cups, but it was in reverse. Like they had a lot of love, but it was just hurting. And then I get the play hard, find time to laugh, goof off, and enjoy each other. So they were very aware that you guys have a lot of fun when you guys are together, that you do goof around, you do have fun, you do laugh, you play hard. Like they are aware that you are the like bright spot in their day and in their life. And mastery, you've learned the spiritual lesson. They feel like that it was in their best interest to go. It seems like with the mastery, they felt like the lesson in all of this for them was for them maybe to do the right thing or for them to not get involved with you when they knew they couldn't. It's like they felt like they really needed to do the higher self thing. They felt like it would be unfair to you if they were to keep being involved or stick around, dragging you through this painful situation. I want to look at this one. Untold truths of the heart. What was going through pile one's mind when they reduced contact or cut things off with pile one? Influences, dark attachment, third parties. Yeah, I did sense for some of you out there was a third party. But interesting though, the third party though seems like a dark attachment. So it's interesting how they felt, and even in this card, it's symbolized by wolves. It seems like maybe they were afraid that they would get hurt by the third party or vulnerable or get their negative consequences from the third party, because it seems like the wolves, like the wolves will be after them. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So it seems like maybe they had a codependent relationship or connection with a third party for some of you watching. Drifting, slowly parting, disconnecting, detaching. So they probably tried detaching and slowly drifting and fading things off or phasing things out with you, probably like even before maybe you noticed, or, you know, they tried emotionally detaching with you probably a while before they actually officially cut things off completely, or if right now they are just still in that phase of like slowly drifting and detaching. It seems like that's what they were thinking and going through when that started happening, or when you started noticing, or even before you started noticing. So there was that. I get concealing. All right, maybe they were concealing it. Maybe they were hiding from you that they were detaching or that they were disconnecting or slowly parting. It says secrets, masteries, and hiding. Interesting, the mastery card comes up again because we just got mastery, spiritual lesson. Maybe they thought that like the lesson they had to learn was to keep things private to themselves and not like share things with you. So it's interesting in this way. So it seems like they were trying to keep secret and hide this detaching energy that they were doing. And then I get secret admirer, suppression, resistance, and shyness. So again, feeling like there's a lot of love there. There's a lot of admiration for you and feelings for you, but they have to suppress it. So they were feeling at the time, they were like, I just have to suppress my feelings for pile one. I can't show up. I'm unavailable. I'm burned out. I'm depleted. I just have to, you know, stop feeling what I feel, and I just need to carry on in my life. So there was definitely that resisting the feelings for you, you know, or maybe for some of you out there, they really were just like shy and they just didn't want to keep, you know, disclosing their feelings for you. And then epiphany, they had this realization, understandings, and awakenings. So your person had this epiphany that maybe they felt like they needed to slowly detach or disconnect from you because of a third party influence, that they concealed it from you for a little bit of time, or maybe they felt like they were just concealing you from the third party, but it seems like that they were feeling like they need to stop doing this, they need to cut things off, they need to stop. And then they were like, I just need to like repress and resist my feelings for pile 1 better. I need to do this better. So that's a message for those of you where you know your person had a third party, where you know they were in a relationship or are in a relationship, that kind of thing. And then I want to see 2 more, and then we'll end because I know I'm keep going. I could keep going forever. Okay. I get mirrored souls. So your person is very aware of how much you mirror each other, of how much you guys are the same. Like even the King of Cups to the High Priestess, even that is like very almost like divine masculine and feminine counterpart energy. Even though the King of Cups usually goes with the Queen of Cups, I mean, the King of Cups and the High Priestess, it's both very watery, very emotional, intuitive, psychic. Like it's all very similar. Feeling like you guys are the same, but a more psychic version. So it's very interesting. So they're very aware at the time. They were very much thinking like, gosh, but we're just so similar. Pile 1 and I are just such mirrored souls. And even it says soulmates, mutual feelings, and fate. So maybe they were thinking maybe later down the road that you guys could, you know, reconnect. And it seems interesting when they were cutting things off with you. It seems like looking inward, it seems like they were like, wow, you know what? When I'm really reflecting on it, I feel like Pile 1 and I are so the same. Pile 1 and I are so similar. We're so mirroring. And also at the time, it's like, maybe it's fate. Maybe we could be soulmates. I feel like that Pile 1 is my soulmate, but maybe not now, maybe later. If we're meant to be together, we will be. That kind of thing. And that they were doing some inner reflection, like I'm not available for Pile 1 right now. Maybe in the future I will be, but I don't know when. And because I don't know when, I really need to just step back and cut things off with Pile 1. And maybe in the future we can revisit it, or maybe I can resurface when I feel more ready, or when I'm more available, or when the third party is done, or, you know, that kind of thing. And then divine timing. Yeah, they were like, you know what, if it's meant to be, it will be. In divine timing, it most likely, you know, maybe things will shift. Maybe in time, we will be both available at the same time, and this sort of thing. So seems like that's kind of what they were thinking. And then final message for you guys. Some final messages from your divine masculine. So we are mirroring each other right now. And I feel like this might be something that they thought before, but are still thinking it. So because it's in the current tense, so or present tense. So we are mirroring each other, again, mirrored souls, that they feel like you're still the same. You're still the same soul. This is very twin flame energy. So we're mirroring each other right now. I am ready to travel towards you and meet you in person. So there's still a part of them that does want to. Maybe they are conflicted about it, and there's a part of them that's ready, and there's a part of them that's not. But for some of you out there, I feel like what they were thinking was they were like, I was ready, or I am ready to travel towards you and meet you in person. And then they were like, oh, but I'm unavailable for that. So maybe emotionally they were ready, or emotionally they were depleted. It's like they're very split. They're very fragmented. Looking at your picture and fantasizing about being together. So I feel like that your person was definitely looking at your photos. You know, they were looking at your reels, your TikToks, your Instagrams. They were definitely looking at your photos and imagining being together, fantasizing about that. Like they do feel the strong bond. All right. So this one is, okay, so some of them I won't show you because they're graphic. Not really graphic, but you know, I don't want to get flagged. I highly admire and respect you for working on yourself. So they just admire you so much. They felt like you had done a lot of the inner work. I feel like a little bit of like inferiority to you in that way. Yeah, maturing from my childish ways and stepping into my power. I think what they felt like was leaving you was actually the responsible thing to do. It was the mature thing. And they felt like they just really needed to like step up in regards to being fair to you. I used to believe we were incompatible in the past. So when they left, they probably felt like you guys were still incompatible for whatever life reasons, for whatever psychological reasons. You know, maybe they felt like they would have a hard time dating another version of them. It was too much. I want to return to you, but I fear rejection. That is that 5 of coins in reverse. They're still having some abandonment, rejection fears. And then this is about them fantasizing about you again. So envisioning you naked in my bed every time I pleasure myself in private. So I'll just show it. It's fine. All right. So basically, that is what they were thinking about you. I feel like I want one more message. I want to see. I don't know if there's anything else to say. Let's see. Well, I feel like I want to give you something else. Last ones. Okay. What are they thinking now? This is the Hermit Tarot. Here we go. All right. In the future, at some point, we don't know when, but in the future, at some point, they feel like they want to reconnect with you or reunite with you, that they are coming forward for you. They're like, I'm coming, trust. You hurt me, but that's okay, I guess. So they're still in pain. I feel like for whatever reason, that King of Cups in reverse, like they are sad. I feel like they are hurt in some way, or maybe they're just grieving this situation. Love is the answer. So for them, it's interesting because this actually did show up in reverse. I almost want to say that your person is thinking, you know, like, love is not enough. Love is the answer, but it's not enough to fix these obstacles or to fix the situation. Gossip only hurts more. He definitely didn't want to hurt you. He didn't want to hurt, if there's a third party, he didn't want to hurt the third party. He definitely didn't want to hurt themselves. So it seems like that they were just really focusing on that. And then also, now is not the time, but this also is in reverse. So I feel like that with now is not the time, maybe they were thinking that it wasn't, but now they're thinking, well, maybe in the future there could be. When could there be? Is now the time? Now is the time. So it seems like your person is definitely, and it might just be that too, like that the dominant thoughts show up as, you know, they're not ready to talk, they're avoiding it, blah, blah, blah. But maybe there are still some other weaker thoughts or some other thoughts that show up that are still like that glimmer of hope or that star, you know, that we saw, that there's still a piece where they're like, well, maybe it is, or maybe it could be, or that. So it's very interesting. So I will leave you with that, pile one. I hope this has helped you, and I hope this has not depressed you too much. Obviously, with you not really being with them right now, it seems like you probably already knew some of this or expected it, or it probably resonates with you even if it's not like the happiest. Again, there is that meditation or that, you know, peaceful footage at the end of this video. If maybe watching that can help soothe you or ground you or regulate your emotions or help you release and cry or, you know, help you in some way. So if you liked this video, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you want. I am available for private readings if you want. You can reach out to my information in the contact or the description box. It's there, or just go to fairyastrology.com. That's my website. And if you feel like this wasn't really your pile or your situation, that's okay. Maybe pick another pile or another video, or maybe there wasn't a message for you today, especially if you guys feel like that you guys are in contact more, or you guys are talking and you're curious just like what they're thinking. That might be more maybe one of my other videos about like what are they thinking and feeling right now. But this is more about like what were they thinking when they cut things off, or what were they thinking when they left. So I hope this helps you, and I will talk with you next time. So please, please take care, and I hope your heart heals, and I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys. Hi, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading today, where we are focusing on WTF were they thinking when they cut things off with you, ghosted you, slowed down, started zombieing you, breadcrumbing you, all of those things. So you've picked Pile 2, the Good Tarot. You also have picked this necklace, which is fun. This video I shot in the Caribbean, and at the end of this video, I have about 3.5 minutes of the beautiful island of St. Lucia where this was filmed. and also just like gorgeous island shots of the ocean, just kind of like a very beautiful, you know, meditation for you to watch, a peaceful kind of rejuvenating kind of scenery for you to see the Caribbean. It was very beautiful. I was there in November of last year and it was nice, and I wanted to release this video. This is my third of 3 Caribbean videos, and I did some Caribbean shorts when I was there as well, and I wanted to really kind of just capture the beauty of the island. I fell in love with it when I was there, so it's beautiful. So I always want to take you guys along with me and share like beautiful things that I get to see, and I know that this world is like so pretty, you know, it's just so much bigger than our own little backyard. So I wanted to share a little bit of that with you. And so because this is a topic where people might be wondering like what's happening, what happened, what were they thinking, what was going through their mind when they wanted to cut things off, why did they cut things off, why did they stop things, were they even thinking about me or anything, you know, that kind of thing. This video can hopefully shed some light on it for you. So about your person, this is your side, what was going through your mind right before you know, they cut things off with you or ended things or pulled back or withdrawn. This is for people in no contact or low contact situations. So if you're talking to your person and actively with them and dating them and everything, this is probably not your reading, but you can of course keep watching if you want to. So this is what was going through their mind as well right when they were cutting things off. This is more details about like what were they thinking when they backed away, or what were they thinking and like why. These, I'm going to do actually the Mermaid Tarot for the future. So this is going to be what will they most likely be thinking in the next 3 months. So what's going to be going through their mind in the next few months in the future. And I do reversals here. So we're going to look at this spread with reversals, and then we're going to do, this is the Mermaid Tarot and the Good Tarot. And then this is a card about like what's going to go through their mind longer term down the road. So let's see here. Okay. Oh, and did I pick a crystal of the day for you? I didn't. We'll use this one. This is a beautiful peach calcite. It's very, very pretty. And actually I was going to pick a calcite, and honestly, it was like a little crystal ball on the stand. And when I went to move the cards to the center to do this reading, it actually fell off the stand and it shattered on my table. So I put it outside in my garden with my cactuses. So it's living outside right now, but you actually were going to get a honey calcite. But instead you're getting a peach calcite, which is a beautiful crystal nonetheless. So hopefully this helps you. So it's interesting because the honey calcite was more like sacral chakra, solar plexus area. But now apparently it's like the energy is going a little lower into like sacral chakra area. So this might help you be creative. It might help you, you know, bring in some good things or help you manifest, or maybe even like a sexy romantic love. Maybe even this person, who knows? All right, so what was going through your mind right before they were cutting things off? You were already pretty much sensing it. It seems like you could feel it. You were getting very frustrated and very angry, but maybe you were trying to suppress it and you were trying to keep your cool and you were trying to not be mad. So I get the 5 of Wands. It seems like you were already kind of very feisty or frustrated. There was probably an argument before they cut things off or walked away. So the 5 of Wands would represent a conflict or some anger. I get the 8 of Fire or 8 of Wands in reverse. So it seems like they weren't talking to you. They weren't reaching out to you. That was making you upset. They weren't seeing you in person, or they weren't traveling to see you. It was just kind of this situation where it was a very withdrawn energy already. You were noticing that. And then the 7 of Coins in reverse. You were feeling very impatient. You were wanting things to move forward quickly. You were feeling like they weren't really planting the seeds or building things with you. You were noticing that they weren't like tending to your garden, basically. As funny as that sounds, it's like they weren't really cultivating this or nurturing this relationship or this connection. So that was kind of what you were thinking. What was going through their mind right before or right while they were cutting things off? So I get it's so interesting. They did see you guys together and they didn't want to be single. So I get the 9 of coins in reverse. So usually when this is upright, it's like single energy, independent energy, feeling self-reliant and focusing maybe on work or money and having things be lucrative. But with it in reverse, it's like your person didn't want to be single. They weren't wanting to be independent and, on their own in any way. It seems like they really were not wanting this, especially because when you guys were maybe arguing, maybe it was an unexpected ending for you guys. Because I get this Page of Swords and the King of Wands. So zodiac signs that are coming through is you may be an air sign, or, they could be as well, but most likely you. So I get the Page of Swords, which is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy, or you may have that in your chart somewhere strong. And then they are King of Coins, so they may be Earth sign energy, so Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, or somewhere in their chart strong. So it seems like with the two of you together, it's like they looked at you guys together, united, or they felt like your hearts were bonded and the same. And it seems like that there's just this togetherness that they felt with you, and they didn't want to be broken up. And it seems like they didn't see you guys as that. So you felt like they weren't putting in as much like effort or energy or seeing you or talking to you or anything, but that they felt like this is like the classic tale of you feeling like you're knowing something's going on and that something is off, and that your person's like, what? I thought we were doing so well. I thought we were doing so good. I thought we were really okay and on the same page. Why are you mad, dear? Like almost kind of like that kind of an energy. So it's like your person was surprised or maybe a little shocked to see this. So that's a very interesting energy. Let's get some more details about what were they thinking before they cut things off. So they did know they were undecided. So they do have like an indecisive energy with the Two of Swords. They knew they had to make a decision or a choice, and they weren't doing so. I feel like they were trying to wait until things turned around and they got like, interesting, you're mirroring each other. Okay, they were waiting for things to get more lucky. They were just waiting for the bad time to pass. Maybe that there was some external things in their life that were going wrong. And on your side, you were thinking like, oh, they don't like me, they're disinterested. And on their side, they were like, no, we're so committed and we're together, but there's a lot of bad stuff going on in my life right now, or a lot of blocks or challenges or obstacles going on, but you're still my person and I still care for you, and we're still together. So it seems like they were just waiting for that to shift or things to change and this unlucky energy to right itself. So it seems like they were just really waiting for their luck to turn around or for situations to flow better. But what's interesting is, so here with the Seven of Coins, how you were feeling kind of frustrated and impatient, feeling like your person wasn't like building or growing or this connection. They weren't really investing in it with the Seven of Coins in reverse. Look what this is. They have Patience in reverse, which I believe this is Hanged Man, because I think Temperance is later. But yeah, so what's interesting with this, so yeah, I'm getting that both of you were feeling impatient. So the Patience card is in reverse and the Seven of Coins is in reverse. So there is this energy. So they were feeling like, okay, I'm impatient for my luck to turn around, but I can't really make a decision or take action until that happens. But it wasn't happening. And then you both felt like impatient with this energy but it seems like maybe the energy was a misunderstanding with them being not interested, because it seems like they were interested and they thought you guys were fine and together, and you guys were like, no, actually. But in the next few months, what their thoughts are going to be, number one, they want things to stabilize out. They want to rebuild after the destruction. So I get the Tower, but I get it in reverse. One, they might not be really learning their lessons or having, like, I feel like they had major destruction and change with this situation blowing up in their face, and the argument. But I'm also getting with the Tower in reverse. The Tower is supposed to be about like epiphanies and having like this soul realization and learning lessons and everything. So with the Tower in reverse, I feel like you see how it's like crumbled down, it's like destroyed. So this connection kind of has to start from ground zero. But what's interesting with this is it's in reverse, and I feel like your person wants to rebuild. They want a new start and a new beginning, but they may not have learned their lesson. Like they may not have like have changed behavior, or maybe they don't really have like the realization or the epiphany. They may be like, oh, I need to do this different, or I shouldn't do that. Or they may not have that realization, at least within the next 3 months. That might be something that they still have yet to learn or master. I get the Hermit in reverse. So they don't want to be avoidant of you. They don't want to be withdrawn, and they don't want to be like pulled back from this connection. So I do feel like they want to come out from hiding, or at least they're thinking about coming out from hiding, and they're not thinking about like, oh, I need changed behavior and I need to be better or do better. They're just like, I don't want to be away from my person. I'm going to resurface. And really, I'm not really having any epiphanies. I'm not really like thinking about what I did wrong. I just don't want to be alone. I want to be reconnected with my person. So they're thinking that. And then I get the Page of Coins in reverse. So it's almost like they're not reflecting upon a lot. They're not having a lot of reflection. Even the Hermit, which is, you know, somebody that goes away to reflect, I feel like they're not really reflecting. So they're not really having this like introspection. And it's interesting because the King of Coins is like somebody that's usually a spouse. And I feel like they were feeling like, yeah, you know, we could progress this to, you know, a deeper level of commitment. But it seems like that when it blew up in their face, they were surprised. And they were like, wow, why did this tower crumble down? I felt like I was doing everything right. And then it seemed like that, you know, they're not really reflecting on their behavior. They're just like, okay, well, maybe we can just, you know, not even fix it, but we can just, you know, keep going. Let's just, you know, make up. Not fix it, but like make up. And then the Princess of Coins in reverse is kind of like they're thinking, or they're not thinking about how they weren't really giving a lot to this connection, and they weren't really participating a lot, and they weren't really showing up very well. They're not really taking responsibility or accountability for that. So it seems like they weren't really, or they're not really in the next 3 months going to be thinking about that they weren't really giving to you, or they weren't really showing up. And then down the road, I get 10 of Cups though. So whatever, you know what? It's fine. I get the 10 of Cups. So I feel like in the future, they're going to be really, really happy with you. Now, we haven't been able to reflect to see like if you're going to be happy with them. But with the 10 of Cups being happy, it seems like you guys are probably continuing anyways, or at least going like along with things. So there is that. So at least I get the card of ultimate happiness. That is something that is good. I do feel like there's a lot of like promising energy in this connection. So at least that's very good. All right, so I'm going to clear this away, and I want to get a little bit more about kind of like what are some of their thoughts, what was going through their head when you guys ended things or things were cut off. So I'm going to look at things from the Hidden Truth Oracle. So WTF were they thinking? Maybe your person just did not have a lot of self-awareness or wasn't thinking. But what are some thoughts that were going through? Oh, that's why. When you guys got in a fight and then they left you, it says, I left you before you could leave me. So they didn't want to break up. They didn't want to be independent and single. Now I'm getting more information. But they probably did break up with you because they didn't want to be broken up with. It was like a preventative, self-protective mechanism. So they were trying to do damage control in a way, but to keep themselves safe. And that's where they're not really reflecting on it, because they never really wanted to leave you anyway. They just didn't want to be broken up with. Maybe for some of you, it was like their ego. Maybe for some of you, it was like trauma. Or maybe they just felt like they were trying to just leave before they were left. And then I wish I had treated you better. All right, so it's interesting where I'm getting the cards where they're not really reflecting upon the fact that they didn't give you a lot or changed behavior, but I do feel like that there is some knowingness in them where they were like, but I guess I didn't treat Pile 2 very well. I don't know if they go deeper than that, but I think they at least were acknowledged like, all right, you know what, I could have been better. All right, you know what, maybe I should have been better. I don't know if they feel like in the future they will give more, but I feel like at least there is some acknowledgement. There is some recognition. I will wait for a sign from you. So I feel like that if you guys are still in separation and in no contact, which most likely you are, that they're waiting for you. They're waiting for a sign. They're waiting to see if they have a green light. So I can see how they're just trying to kind of, you know, feel it out. If you start to notice them like looking at, you know, your social media stuff or asking friends or family about you, I feel like they're kind of trying to fish around. They don't really want to be broken up. I feel like there may be like, and it's interesting because on some level it's like there's an immaturity there, but yet they do also show up as the King of Coins, which is a mature soulmate energy. So it's very interesting. I'd be interested to see what would happen between the two of you as, you know, soon in the future. We are going into, or when you're watching this, we are in Mercury retrograde. Now, Mercury retrograde is happening, you know, in these next few weeks. So you might be watching this down the road, a different, you know, time frame when we're not in retrograde. But retrogrades are usually a time period where past lovers can come back or they can resurface. So I want to know more about like what was going through their mind when they ended things with you. Yeah, release. All right. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. But it says radical acceptance and surrender can help you let go. So I feel like they accepted that you guys, I think they accepted that you were going to break up with them. And that's when they were like, I need to let go. I'm going to be broken up with. Almost like they wanted to like duck and cover or something. And maybe the fight made them feel threatened in some way where they felt like, oh my gosh, I know they're so mad they're going to go. I better just cut it. Maybe they were like, you know what, maybe we shouldn't be together then if we're going to, you know, if you're just going to get so mad. Or, you know, like I feel like it was almost kind of like again, not taking accountability for their behavior. Obstacle. Unhealed wounds are blocking forward movement. So it seems like maybe there was a big triggering of one of their unhealed wounds from either past relationships or past childhood trauma or that sort of thing, because it seems like maybe there was just like a major triggering that happened. And maybe they were like, I thought we were together, but oh, if this seems very similar to in the past when I would get in trouble or when I would get, you know, I would be broken up with before. That pile 2 is showing me signs that, I mean, I know that I'm screwed. I better just jump ship, you know, that kind of thing. And then I get regret. Somebody feels remorse for the way they treated you. So we are getting a lot of cards that are showing that they feel bad about it. They wish they treated you better. They regret how things happened. And yet at the same time, there's still a conflicting energy of, but if you guys get back together, will that just repeat itself? You know, like that kind of thing. So it's almost kind of like they feel bad in the moment, but then almost like maybe it doesn't stick, or maybe they go back on it, or maybe you've seen them do this already. And then I get friendship. So I feel like also they're really hoping too that maybe they can stay friends with you or rekindle a friendship to kind of like have a little bit of a side door into this relationship again. That they're like, oh, if we're friends and we hang out, then maybe we'll just pick up where we left off, or they'll forgive me, or we'll be able to keep going, or maybe they won't remember what I did and I'll just, you know, we can just make peace and, you know, then we can just make out, you know, like kind of they just think that maybe they can just kind of like sleep in that way. So let's see, what are some more thoughts? I want to see actually, what are they feeling right now? I want to see what are they feeling now that you guys are in separation or no or low contact. So let's see. What are some of their feelings? What are they feeling right now that the situation is going on? Guilty. All right. Regret, remorse, guilty, shame, denial. Okay, that's where it was. Because I was like, why are all these cards showing up where they feel bad, but they're not doing anything about it? All right. So I'm getting denial. All right. And then wisdom. So they're changing their perspective. But you know what's interesting? I feel like it's going this way. So what I see is, all right, so first of all, they feel really riddled with guilt and shame. So they feel bad about it. They feel like, oh, I messed up. I screwed up. That's really bad. but they can't accept that. They can't accept and live with the guilt. So what they have to do is they have to change it around. You know, it says the wisdom, you know, to change my perspective. So what happens is when they feel the guilt and the shame, guilt and shame is actually a really tough, heavy emotion for people to live with or to handle. So what happens is when they're feeling so riddled with guilt and shame, what happens is they can't accept that. They have to go in denial. And then that's where accusing things happen. That's when they're like, oh, but you did this. So, but I can justify it in this way. So it's like there's a changing in perspective. I wouldn't say it's wisdom per se, and I definitely don't feel like they're learning lessons about this, but I do feel like this is the kind of person that might be like turning things around on you, or like gaslighting you in some way, or being like, oh yeah, I know I did, but what about you? Or so do you, you know, like that kind of like an immature kind of like thing. And then I get depth. So that's interesting. It says, I want to give you more of me and I want more of you. So I feel like they do want to connect with you in a deep way. I don't know if they're able to handle it or like do it or show up in that way, but I feel like the desire is there. They want, and it's interesting how like guilty and denial are on this side and like wisdom and depth are on this side. I feel like this is like their shadow self. And then this is their like higher evolved 5D self, or their like ideal self, or the person they can grow into. So hopefully as time goes on, I mean, we did get the 10 of Cups for them. So hopefully as time goes on, they're going to be able to like be less and less denial and more like wisdom and changing perspective and connecting in like a true, authentic, intimate way. So hopefully that is something that can happen with your person. I want to know a little bit more about like what were they thinking? What were they thinking when they cut things off? Okay. So it seems interesting because I'm getting shadow, light, shadow, light, shadow, light. Okay. So the good parts they were thinking before it was getting cut off, or as it was getting cut off, was, I feel your presence every day. So something that they were thinking when you guys were fighting or breaking up was they felt like maybe you wouldn't go too far away from them. Maybe they wouldn't lose you because you guys do feel so connected. You know, that King of Coins, Princess of Swords, like they felt like you guys are so united. They probably feel the soul bond, and they probably felt safe to fight with you because they felt like, oh, but pile 2 won't really leave because we do have this really true love. So it seems like they just feel like they feel your presence every day, and they felt you with them, and they probably knew that like you weren't really going anywhere. Maybe you guys have gone through time periods where you haven't talked before, but you would still look at their stories and they know you're still there. So maybe it's like they still knew they had your attention while things were being this way. And it says, you're my queen, that's how I want to treat you. So it seems also like in this connection that they're like, but you are my queen, you're my Princess of Swords, I'm your King of Coins, I really want to treat you better. So they do have the desire of wanting to treat you better. I mean, nobody really wants to like hurt someone. Nobody wants to screw them over. So there is this, and it says, I still love you, I want to be with you. So yeah, they never really wanted to break up. It seems like they definitely still love you. They definitely still want to be with you. And as you guys were breaking up or ending things, or as they were even breaking up with you, they still loved you and they still wanted to be with you, and they didn't really want it to end. But they know that I destroyed your confidence in me. So they know that the way they treated you wasn't okay, and they know that you lost faith in them. And when you were arguing with them, you were probably just expressing your upsetness, but they looked at it like, oh, they'll never trust me again, I should just go. Oh, well, I just ruined it, there's no way we can salvage it, I should just go away. It was almost like they just like went, like it escalated very quickly, and it was like good, not really good, because I mean, you were feeling like starving and not getting a lot, but they felt like it was fine, and you were starving and they felt like it was fine, and then you were like, hey, I'm mad about this, and then they're like, whoa, okay, bye. And it was almost kind of like an inappropriate reaction to like how you were expressing your upset feelings. And maybe you were overreacting, maybe you were just very mad. I mean, it's like if somebody is just not showing up for you, I can get how it would be like super infuriating. And so they probably were like, wow, bye. You know, it's like they just like took it like to the nth degree. And then I get my emotions are like a roller coaster right now. Yeah, I get that they probably weren't very stable emotionally, even though they showed up with the King of Coins. So it seems like they just felt like, wow. And they just felt like they had to like step back like 50 feet. And then I need to be alone now. Yeah, so they were like, my emotions are so unstable, I need to remove myself. Which is very surprising that they would feel this way as being the King of Coins. So maybe you were very surprised that they reacted this way when normally they were presenting with such an even keel and such a cool front and such a stable energy at first. Even if they were absent, they had this kind of like stability to them. Like you knew they were still there even if they were unavailable or even if they weren't really showing up or talking to you a lot. You probably still had like a knowingness in your heart, like, but I know they still love me. I know that they're like there. So kind of like that. So you were probably very shocked to see it just kind of also kind of blow up in that way. So let's see here. What are some final messages from them, or maybe second to final? We'll see what happens. In regards to the situation, still stuck in a karmic cycle and too stubborn to fix it. We saw that because they're still having a hard time taking accountability. They're still in that denial energy. There is probably a stubborn energy. The King of Coins probably has a hard time changing. They're very like set in their ways, especially if they are an earth sign. But they are still aching to touch and kiss you. So they are still wanting to come back romantically. They want to unite with you. I feel like they want to just like reconnect in that relationship or sexual way. And it says, you challenge me like no other, and sometimes that intimidates me. And I feel like this is the card that like sums up this whole scenario. You were challenging them. You were trying to get them to step up and do better. That intimidated the crap out of them. They freaked out and then they left. And you're kind of like, wait a minute, what are you doing? You don't just leave when there's a problem. You fix it, you stay, you work on it. Why did you just disappear? So there was like that kind of very like reactive energy from them. Interesting though. Okay, that's beautiful. So they, you probably share some things in common. It says your hobbies and interests arouse my curiosity to pursue them as well. So they're probably, they like a lot of the things that you like. That, maybe they were even thinking about the things you guys could do together and have fun together or work on. When you work on, meaning like hobbies, not work on like working through the conflict. When you guys were together. And then it says, my love for you is eternal. Never forget this. So I do feel like that they do feel like a very eternal love and connection with you. All right, so we'll do some final messages. And I'll say about what were they going through when they, actually we'll say, what are they thinking now? We'll end on like a now, because we looked at their feelings and they're still kind of stuck, but they definitely want to reconnect. So what are they thinking now? So final message. Words do hurt. They are probably licking their wounds and feeling really hurt and trying to heal from the argument or from things that you said based on their like behavior that, you were valid. I left because you told me to, right? And so also maybe if you broke up with them, I don't feel like you broke up with them, but because I feel like they're like, they left you before you could leave them. So in this particular case, it's like they left because they felt like you would, or they left because they thought that, and also maybe you said something out of the heat of the moment when you were like, oh my God, just go. Or like, oh my gosh, I can't even look at you right now. Or, like some exaggerated kind of reaction because you were upset and maybe they took it super seriously and they were like, oh, like, I know this is like a super outdated show, but it's been on my feed for a lot now. Like in Friends, when like Rachel and Ross were on a break and she was like, maybe we just need a break from us. And he took that as like a breakup. And so like, maybe that's what's happening with your situation. Maybe like, you were just like, oh my gosh, I need a break from this. And they were like, oh my God, they need a break from me, And so like, maybe they took things in like a misunderstanding kind of way. Because I get you matter. So even right now, I feel like they're looking at it like that you're so important to them and that you really, really do matter. And they do feel like you guys are very, very connected. And your person wonders if you still think about them. And, they think about you a lot. I do feel like you're on their mind a lot. I feel like they miss you a lot. And then you make my heart full. This is literally the 10 of Cups card. So, you know, when they think about and reminisce about your memories together and the fun times you guys have had or your bond, you know, it really does like fill their heart with love. So I do feel like they really do love you, even though there was this like very painful, you know, ending. So that's what I feel like they were thinking when they cut things off with you or when the situation ended. I hope this has helped you. It does look like they're going to try to reconcile though, at least from what I'm seeing now, at least from where the energies are at the moment. So that does look good. If you feel like this wasn't your situation, feel free to pick another pile or another video. And I hope that you guys liked this. If you liked it, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, I am open for private readings if you like. My information is in the description box, and you can just go to fairyastrology.com. So if you need me, I'm here for you, and I will talk with you guys later. Bye, guys. Hi, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading today. This is a little bit of a sensitive topic. This is for mostly people in no contact or low contact situations. This is usually for lovers in separation or situations where your person has cut things off. We want to know, WTF are they thinking? What the heck were they thinking when they cut things off with you? Were they thinking? Was it just careless? Did they care at all? You know, like what's going on? What was going through their mind at the time? This is a very pretty video from the Caribbean. I hope you've enjoyed the intro. We have a meditation at the end of the video for about 3.5 minutes where it's a lot of footage about the beauty of St. Lucia, the island that I filmed this on in the Caribbean, which is so pretty. This is my 3rd video of my 3-video Caribbean series, and I recorded some shorts as well from the Caribbean, so I hope you've been enjoying them. But if you need to heal your heart or you just need some like peaceful, soothing vibes, feel free to watch, you know, the end of the video, which is right actually after your pile. It goes right into it. Lucky you. And so you just stay tuned after the reading and it comes up. And so you can kind of just tap into the peacefulness of the island. So hopefully that just gives you a little rejuvenation and all that. So you have picked a few things. You have picked the After Tarot, and you have also picked this necklace, which is like a, I don't know, like a plumeria flower or like a hibiscus flower. So very like tropical islandy flower necklace. So I've picked for you this beautiful carnelian. This is a very gorgeous crystal to help you with your sacral chakra. So this can help you with creativity, with manifestation, with, you know, all of that passion. So I hope this crystal helps you. So I'm going to look at your connection right now and kind of see a little bit about like what were they thinking when they ended things or drifted away or reduced contact or reduced time, that sort of thing. If they are still in your life when, you know, when they started withdrawing, what was going through their mind. So we're going to take these cards, and I do take reversals. So this will be 3 cards for your side. What was going through your mind when they were cutting things off? 3 cards for their side. What was going through their mind when they were ending things or pulling away or cutting things off with you? What more about what was going through their mind mentally in the past when they did this? 3 cards. I'm going to actually switch to the other deck. Well, I'm going to do something differently for you. I haven't done this for the other 2 piles, but this is the After Tarot. So this is actually on purpose for the future. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to see what is going through their mind in the next 3 months from now. So what will they be thinking about? And long-term down the road, what will they be thinking about? And I'm going to put you in here with the Mermaid Tarot. I'm going to see what is going to be going through your mind in the next 3 months towards your person, and what will go through your mind towards your person after 3 months of time. So let's tune in. Okay. Oh, here's your crystal. All right. So what's going on here? Yeah, these are pointed towards you. Okay, so I'm getting the 5 of Coins in reverse. I mean, actually upright. But the after tarot is what happens after the rejection, after this. So you may have felt rejected by your person before, or you may have felt abandoned by them before, or maybe even by other past relationships you've been in, that this is not a uncommon feeling. This might be something that, you know, happened before to you, and so it's familiar. So you may have felt abandoned or rejected by your person or by a person similar to them already. So you had kind of already gone down this road, and it seemed like probably because of that, you could recognize the signs. You could recognize what was happening or what was going on here. But I get the 10 of coins. So what was going through your mind is you were like, but we can build a future together. We can still work on this. We can still have a marriage. We can still have a commitment. We can get engaged. We can still plan a future together. This person is the one. We can still, even though they've rejected me and abandoned me and hurt me before, we can still move forward in this way. And then I get the Princess of Swords. You probably told your person that. This is like you communicating to them. So you probably told them all of that. They're probably like, I recognize this. You've done this before. We can still work on this. There is a lot of hope here. We can still work through this energy. For them, they had already gone through a big trauma, and so they also were trying to work on this connection, and they were trying to manifest this. They were trying to be on the same page with you, but they definitely had been through a trauma that had really like hurt them badly. So the thing that I get is I get the good cards, I get the Magician upright, and I get the Wheel of Fortune. So they, because this is the after tarot, they had already recovered from this tragedy. I get this Tower in reverse. So they already had something crumble down. Maybe they had a divorce, or they had a death, or they had something happen where it was a big tragic situation that happened in their life. And something that they had built that was a strong structure had already crumbled down, most likely a divorce. So they've already had something really fall apart. Now, whether it was their own divorce, or whether it was like a parent divorce or something like that, or a loss of a parent, maybe their parent died, but it seems like they already had like a huge major loss, and that was in the past before you, and that was, you know, or this situation had crumbled down already before, and they were able to, you know, pick up the pieces. Because I do get with the Tower, it's like the destruction had happened already in their past. And then with the Wheel of Fortune and the Magician, it's like they had already turned things around. They had already kind of rebuilt themselves. They had already kind of manifested a happy, beautiful, good life. So your person is already somebody that is used to having the worst thing happen and rebuilding that. And really, like, the Magician and the Wheel of Fortune is like, and really was okay. Like, they really had like a good kind of situation. Like, they kind of rebuilt a good life for themselves, you know, all things considered. What else was going on? I get the Seven of Wands in reverse, the Seven of Swords upright, and the Ace of Coins. All right, your person felt like they were trying to work on things with you. They were trying to not be defensive, but I feel like they felt like they were almost about to get caught in something. So that is maybe a reason also why they had kind of withdrawn. So I get the Ace of Coins. They offered you something real and tangible. I feel like they really, and it's so interesting where I'm looking at these cards, because this tarot spread would not normally be for people in separation. Usually this is one for like lovers that are together. So you guys might be some of those that are like low contact, or kind of in each other's lives in some way, or maybe some togetherness at some way. But I'm also getting for others of you, it's like their previous past trauma where something really died and destroyed it, really made it where like, and we're gonna have to get some more message cards to like really get to the root of it, but it's almost kind of like maybe they didn't expect things to blow up with you in this way. Maybe they didn't expect you to, you know, to have things kind of fall apart in this way, because I feel like there was still like a strong bond. There was still like a knowingness of how to rebuild themselves. So I'm very confused. Maybe this is probably why you're watching this, because you're probably like, I'm so confused. Because they, they gave you an offer. They're like, I'll work on this. I will be here. I'll be present. I'll show up. I will be here. So it's like your person was like, I am here. But then, yeah, there is something that happened maybe behind the scenes where maybe they're about to get caught. So see how the Seven of Swords is usually like sneaky? They say that these swords are like, they're stealing them. They stole the swords. These swords are not theirs. They're walking away. They're taking them away. So these swords like belong to someone else. And see how this noose is actually about to catch them. So it's almost kind of like maybe your person ducked out because they were going to get caught, or they were going to get caught doing something they shouldn't be doing. So it's kind of like your person felt like, oh, I better go, because otherwise this could blow up in my face. This could fall down like my divorce or my parents' divorce. This could, yeah. So your person had to leave before they were caught. Otherwise, this would crumble down on them. But the problem is that it crumbled down on them anyway. Or maybe they were like, I need to crumble this down right now. Otherwise, I'm going to get caught. So it's almost kind of like they had to jump ship. Otherwise, they would get in trouble, or they would get caught in some worse way. And then I get the Seven of Wands in reverse. So see, there's like this argument here that was going on, but it's in reverse. And they were like, I don't want drama. I don't want to fight. I don't want to get caught. I know I'm going to make you be this way if I continue with things. So I got to go. So it's almost like they were trying to avoid drama. They were trying to avoid getting caught, trying to avoid getting in trouble. And that could just be as simple as you just, calling them on their actions. But it seems like for whatever reason, they were just like, oh, I got to go. And I feel like the message cards are going to add some more insight to this. But in the next 3 months, how are things going to be between you and them? So what's going through their mind in regards to this connection? So number one, I get the Four of Swords in reverse. So I do feel like that your person doesn't want things to be quiet. They don't really want things to be calm. I do feel like they're going to probably... Okay. So they don't want things to be over, and they've healed their heart a lot. So the Four of Swords in reverse is usually, this card is like things being quiet or inactive or no action. But with it in reverse, I feel like they can take action on this. Also in this card, it's like they're feeling like they know that you're not going to nurture them anymore. So see how in this card, like this woman is going up to this guy that's laying down, and it seems like that this woman is, it's almost like this guy has died and this girl is like putting a flower on this guy's like tomb. So it's kind of like they know that this situation is over or ended, or, I feel like you guys are in separation too. I don't feel like you guys are low contact. So with the Four of Swords, yeah. So it's like they know that that's over. They see it's like you've completed it, or they've completed it, and now it's like it's dead. But with it in reverse, it's like your person doesn't want things to be over. They don't want things to be dead. They don't want it to be like this situation where things are just inactive and nothing's happening. Because with the World in reverse, again, the World is about things being over, things being complete, that kind of thing. So with the World in reverse, it's like they don't want things to be over, they don't want it to be complete, and they don't want distance between you two. And that's what's going through their mind. And with the Three of Swords in reverse, it's interesting because see how this heart is all bandaged up. Now, normally, if it's upright like this, the swords would have all fallen out, and now there's like a healing. But with it in reverse, there's a part of a healing, but I feel like there's a part of your person's mind that like it hasn't really healed. It's scarred. It's scarred probably a lot. And also these swords are just kind of like thrown up, but it's almost kind of like they're still waiting to receive the consequences of this. Because it's like, what happens is like if you take something, right? And you're like, I'm going to throw this up. What happens? It comes down, and these swords are still up in the air. They're still waiting for these swords to go down and almost like impale them. They're still like maybe fearing retribution, even if you're not going to, even if you're just like putting a flower on the grave of this relationship, even if you're still just kind of like paying your respects and you're grieving it. And I feel like that they don't want to grieve it, that this is over. They don't want to grieve. they feel like they're like trying to throw the pain away, but it's like a boomerang, or it's like it's falling down on them. So I feel like they're trying to avoid the grief and the healing. Probably they're okay. This is the type of person that avoids therapy. This is the type of person that avoids healing, that avoids doing the work. They just want to try to avoid it and like go off somewhere else. And so that's kind of what they're doing. They're trying to get, and that's where that's where the Seven of Swords is with the getting caught, because they're just trying to avoid accountability for this. They're trying to just not have to be like tied down and forced to do the healing work. So that's interesting. They're still trying to like get away scot-free. They're trying to get away with something. So they're still trying to get away with it. So that is that. But in regards to you, in regards to this connection in the next 3 months. And again, this is just 3 months. I get the Queen of Swords in reverse. I feel like what's happening is you don't want to talk to them. So with the Queen of Swords is usually somebody with good communication, that's fair. I mean, you were the Princess of Swords here. You were talking to them. But now you're like, nah, I don't want to initiate conversation. I don't want to talk to you. Maybe you're okay with having a no contact because you're like, if I reopen it, it's just going to be a lot of their bad behavior or drama. So it's kind of like you're just, you're not wanting to talk. You're wanting to keep to yourself, and almost like a protecting of your heart energy. Like the swords are here like this. She's protecting her heart. So I feel like you're trying to protect your heart and you don't want to talk. Also, what's so interesting is you see this Queen of Swords. She's wearing a crown that's a snowflake, and there's snow that's around her, and her hair is white. So see how this queen is almost like the ice queen or the winter queen. So I feel like you might be icy and cold and closed off and like, nope, don't even want to reopen. Don't even want to go there. Because I get the Nine of Wands, which is the battle is over, but it's in reverse. So the battle is not over. So maybe you're still mad. Maybe you're cold and mad and icy, and maybe you're hurt and bitter about this breakup. Which I don't blame you. It seems like it probably hurt you a lot. And then I get the Strength card in reverse. But this is interesting. So in this card, you see how the whale is in this net, but there's a hole in the net. So the whale can actually go down and out. So where the Strength card is normally like, you know, feeling strong and empowered, I feel like you may not feel strong or empowered around this connection, or you might think in the next 3 months, you know what, if I go back to this person, my mind is just going to be, you know, a wreck, and it's just going to drag me through the coals, and I'm just going to be vulnerable to this person, and I'm not going to be able to be strong. So I think I'm just going to kind of go somewhere else. But what's interesting is I see the whale kind of like swimming away. So I feel like this is your freedom. And I feel like for you with this in reverse, it's kind of like you're just wanting to go away. Or maybe it's like in the past, you were trying to like, not trap your person, but you were trying to like lock it down. If they were the whale and you were like trying to wrap the net around them, it's like you were trying to maybe have them be present and stay with you, and they like slipped away. So with this in reverse, you're like, you're free, buddy. I am not trapping you. I'm not chasing you. I'm not going after you. You are free. You wanted to be free. You're free. That kind of thing. Now in the future beyond 3 months time, interesting. Okay. Ooh, interesting. Okay. So I get the Five of Wands. So what happens after is like that Five of Wands card normally is like they're all beating each other with sticks. So with this, it's like your person's not angry. They're not fighting with you anymore. They don't want to have a problem with you. I feel like your person, you know, where they were maybe fighting with the Seven of Wands, I feel like now it's like peace. They're wanting it to be there. And like the Four of Swords is kind of like, they're not really at peace mentally about this. That's the thing. They're not at peace. And they know they've taken the swords out, but they're just going to get impaled again. So maybe they go through waves of time of feeling sad and in pain and grief about this and this loss. Because maybe they feel like they have lost you forever and there's nothing they can do to fix it. That you are this tower that had crumbled down and that there's just nothing that can happen. Maybe they feel like they're just like too broken for this situation, even though they're trying to turn it around and manifest and do better. So it seems like they just, you know, they're not in an antagonistic space. They're not in an angry, combative space. But look at this. What's so interesting. This is literally you're mirroring your person. So maybe you also have some healing still left to do in regards to this person, because check this out. So they got the Three of Swords in reverse, where like they threw up the swords and they're about to come down. You got the Three of Swords in reverse too. But look at this. These swords are coming down onto the whale that you tried to capture, that now you're not capturing anymore. And it's like, look at those swords are literally pointing down into the whale. And so this is kind of like both of you feel very vulnerable to each other. And both of you feel mentally like if you were to interact with each other, it's just going to cause you some pain. Or maybe there's pain about this connection ending, that there's still like a resistance to wanting to go through or feel. So with this, your person's thoughts are like, well, I know what goes up must come down, and these swords are going to come down and impale me again. That's not something that I want. And then you're like, okay, well, I'm such a vulnerable, and now these swords are going to go down into me, and that's vulnerable, and I don't want this. But there's also like this part of you that doesn't want to be hurt again. So that might be a part of this why maybe you stay away, because you just don't want to get like hurt again. So that's interesting, because in this, the whale is free, but here you feel like maybe this person would be like your demise, or maybe this person would like hurt you so much and you wouldn't recover or something. So both of you fear that your person can hurt you beyond the point of repair. It's like you both feel like you're so vulnerable to each other that you guys would just feel so sad if, you know, with this ending. So it seems like both of you are really like nervous to get close to the other. So there is that. And that seems like their nervousness to get close to you seems like that probably contributed also to this connection ending. But how are they feeling now towards you emotionally? I'm looking at the Ocean of Emotion deck. I want to see loyalty, forever yours, with a beautiful dog. So they do still have a ton of love for you. I do see that. What else? So loyalty, they feel like they're forever yours. They have a lot of love. They definitely still feel like, you know, you have their heart, but denial. So I can't accept it, denial. So it's interesting. It's like they're loyal to you, but they can't accept the fact that they're loyal to you, or they can't face themselves in the mirror. It's like they don't, there's a part of them that doesn't want to be loyal to anyone. Maybe there's a part of them that doesn't want to be loyal to you, that they're like, gosh, you know what? After the ending or the breakup with pile 3, I just don't want to. Why do I keep feeling so indebted to them, or so loyal to them, or so tied to them? I don't want to feel so connected to pile 3. It's over. Kind of like that. Nervous. My anxiety is worse than ever before. I'm constantly worried and insecure. So it seems like your person may have an anxiety disorder, or like a worry and an anxiety about this and about this connection. So there is that. So when they think about you, they get nervous. Again, almost like they feel like they're going to get punished, or they're going to get caught, or like maybe you're still mad, or, you know, that kind of thing. Or they feel like they got away with something, but maybe they're going to get caught and trapped. And then illuminate. Your light helped me, guide me out of my darkness. So I feel like really you were like a beautiful lighting, like a beautiful light soul that really guided them and helped them. But they're feeling like they were maybe the dark one, and that they weren't able to, you know, to break free from that. So maybe they felt like they were a lost cause, or that kind of thing. Let's see. What was going through their mind when they ended things with you? When you guys ended. Established. Family, triumph, security, second chance. They were thinking like, you know what, I thought that this was my second chance at having a beautiful established family and home life. And so this is so interesting. They thought like this was their opportunity, that this was a situation where they were able to really connect with you, that they were able to have this home life that was beautiful, that they really had as a dream or as a goal. So they really wanted this, but then there was a clashing, And then there was the only you. So they were like, no, it's only you. Like, you're the only one in my heart. I get the fixated, attached, and hypnotized. So they really, really felt like that they were attached to you. They really loved you. They really had this connection there. And I feel like on many levels, like they still deeply love you, you know, that forever yours. Like they feel like it's only going to be you from now on, and I'm forever always going to be yours. Even if you guys feel like, they did feel like maybe you guys were incompatible, or your differences were making it challenging in this way, or that there was just this conflict that was having a tough time. So it seems like that they knew that there was like this conflict and there was this clashing, but they still kind of felt like maybe you were their second chance of happiness, especially if they'd had a divorce already, or if their parents had had a divorce and they felt like you were the one that could be this for them. So they were having a tough, time with this energy. Now, let's see. What else with the hidden truth? We'll do a few of these messages and then we'll wrap up because I think I'm done. And then you guys can go watch the meditation if you want. So we'll do 3 cards for Hidden Truth Oracle. 4. Okay. So I feel you leaving me behind. So I think that your person feels like you're so far away, and that emotionally that you're just so far out of reach from them. I wish I could share my good news with you. They probably miss talking to you. They miss the friendship you guys had and the connection, and how you guys would tell each other everything, and how they could tell you all the good things that happened for them in their life. I hope that you can forgive me one day. So they do hope that you can forgive them, and maybe you guys could have like a good rapport again, or, be on like, each other's, they can be on your good side. Finding out the truth crushed me. So it seems like that they were very devastated or hurt by like the ending of this connection. So that seems like something that was really painful for them, because again, even if they left you, they are still super, super vulnerable to you. So I think that that's really hard for them. And then final messages, we'll take the Hermit Tarot. What are they thinking about you now? What are they thinking about you currently? Now that everything has happened, what are they thinking about you now? They are waiting for you. So maybe they are waiting for that sign from you. You matter. You're still very important to them. It's only you, forever yours. Wait. And I feel like in this particular case, like waiting for you, wait. They're waiting. So there is that. So I get they are waiting for you, that you matter. You're very important to them. Another confirmation that they're waiting for you, or they hope they will talk to you. And they're wondering, do you think about me too? So they're wondering if you still think about them. So that is what I have for you, pile 3. I hope this has helped you. If you feel like this wasn't your situation or your pile, feel free to pick another pile or another video. And again, this is mostly for lovers in separation. So if you're not separated from your person, you may want to check out another video, like a what are they thinking and feeling about you video, or any of the other ones. If you liked it, I'd love for you guys to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you are going to watch the meditation, that's beautiful. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it brings you some sort of happiness or peace. And if not, then I will leave you here. And I hope that you take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.